Hello, I am Bishop Earl Boyea of the Diocese of Lansing. Here in the middle of July, we are going to take a break from Genesis, which we have just finished, and Exodus, which we will soon start. Instead, let's spend the next 5 days reading Paul's first letter to the Thessalonians. After fleeing Philippi, Paul, Silas, and Timothy moved westward to the commercial port city of Thessalonika. After a relatively brief time of preaching to the gentiles there, Paul and his companions were again forced out. Eventually, making his way south to Corinth, Paul received a report from Timothy, who had returned to Thessalonika. This was the occasion for writing this letter before 50 AD, the earliest written document in the New Testament. In a pagan environment and with a somewhat hostile synagogue community upset at Paul's proselytism, Timothy related some concerns for Paul to address. Certainly, Paul was most attentive to give thanks to God for how the Thessalonians received the faith, manifested the works of the Holy Spirit, and became model Christians for others to imitate. Then Paul presents himself as an example, someone who worked hard to spread the gospel without being a burden on them, perhaps as a tent maker. Clearly, Paul likes this community and wants them to know of his love, even if he cannot be with them. Then, in chapters 4 and 5, Paul is probably gently responding to concerns conveyed by Timothy. God has called us to holiness, not impurity. Love one another and be careful how you deal with outsiders. That those who have died are not lost, but will be raised at the end times. Wait patiently for the end. Respect your missionaries, and always avoid evil. These are simple messages which apply to all of us all the time. One of Paul's earliest, almost entirely Gentile communities holds a special place in his heart. This letter, his first letter, demonstrates that love. Enjoy these 5 days with Paul.